Good morning, students. In the previous lecture, I have talked about frame of reference. This lecture is about some basic laws of motion, which is very important to understand the special theory of relativity. So, special theory of relativity is the mechanics in which we see and we deal with the things in relativistic way, in relativistic approach. So in classical mechanics, there are two kinds of approaches. One is relativistic approach and another is non-relativistic approach. So firstly comes the non-relativistic approach, which is basically the Newtonian mechanics. So Newtonian mechanics composed of laws of gravitation and laws of motion. So Newton's laws of motion that you have already read in class 12 and 10th level. So here I will take a quick revision of the Newton's laws of motion, because to understand Newton's laws of motion is a very much important thing. So students, the first law of Newton. The first law of Newton says an object in its state of rest or of uniform rectilinear motion remains in that state unless an external force acts upon it. इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब यही हुआ, कोई वस्तु अगर स्थिति में है और गति में है, किस तरह का गति? समावेग और सरल रैखिक गति में है, तो जब तक बाहर से कोई बल अप्लाई नहीं किया जाता है तब तक वो वस्तु उसी स्थिति में रहेगा. मतलब अगर वो स्थिति में है तो स्थिति में रहेगा, अगर वो गति में है, किस तरह का गति? समावेग सरल रैखिक गति, तो वो गति में रहेगा. सो न्यूटन्स फर्स्ट लॉ से ये पता चल रहा है जो फोर्स एक्ट्स एंड वाइटल एंड इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड वाइटल रोल इन mechanics. So how force affect velocity? So before that, you people all know velocity and force both are vector quantity. But till now in 12th standard, since we have talked about only linear motion, the addition of vectors can be done like a scalar quantity. So we have not used vector notation. But actually force is a vector quantity and velocity is also a vector quantity. So how force affect the velocity? So here is a listing of initial state of object and final state of object. And there are different cases where force is applied or not. And according to that, the state of the object is changed. So remember students, according to Newton's first law, अगर बाहर से कोई बल नहीं प्रयोग किया जाता है तो अगर कोई वस्तु स्थिति में है तो वो स्थिति में ही रहेगा. स्थिति में है, स्थिति में ही रहेगा मतलब आफ्टर सम टाइम, इनिशियल टाइम में भी वो स्थिति में था, आफ्टर सम टाइम भी अगर टाइम चेंज भी हो जाता है तो भी वो स्थिति में ही रहेगा. इनिशियल टाइम में वो कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी में जा रहा था लिनियर मोशन में, आफ्टर सम टाइम भी वो कांस्टेंट लिनियर मोशन में ही चलता रहेगा. सो इन द फर्स्ट केस यू सी v0 is equal to 0. v0 means the initial velocity of the object. So here also I have described the rest position in terms of velocity, because if there is any object which is at rest position, that means its velocity is 0. So v0 means initial velocity is 0, and if there is not any external force, so there is not any external force, this word can be explained in two ways. Number one, either there is not any type of force acting on the object, or there may be forces but it is balanced in such a way that the vector sum of the forces are 0. That means effectively there is no force on the object. So these two conditions are included in the phrase the external force. So when an object is at rest position, that means V0 is equal to 0, and the applied force, summation of applied force, F is force equal to 0, then what will be its final state? According to Newton's first law, its final velocity will be also 0. That means final velocity is equal to initial velocity. So its state of motion is not changing. Initially it was at rest position, and also final, that means after some time it will be in the rest position. So is the state changed? No. The answer is no. So this is according to Newton's first law of motion. It satisfies Newton's first law of motion. So another case, second case, what is the second case? Initial velocity is 0. V0 is equal to 0. That means at rest position. But the external force is not 0. So that means if there is some external force or forces are acting, that is unbalanced. The vector sum of the forces is not 0. It has some value. So if externally some force is applied, then the state of motion will be changed. So is state changed? Yes, state of motion is changed. And the initial velocity was 0, but the final velocity is not 0 anymore. So Vf not is equal to 0. So what is the third case? The third case is initial velocity V0 is constant and the motion is obviously rectilinear motion, linear motion, and some forces, there is not any external force, so vector sum of forces is equal to 0. So the state will not be changed and the final velocity will also be constant and similar to initial velocity V0, and the object is in uniform motion. So the fourth case is when the initial velocity V0 is constant but there is some unbalanced force acting on the object. So vector sum of the force F is not is equal to 0. So what will happen? Obviously, according to Newton's first law of motion, the state of the object will be changed. And how it will be changed? That we get from kinematics. V final is equal to V0 plus acceleration into time. So the motion will get an acceleration. So this is the effect of force on velocity according to first law of Newton. So you can conclude that if a body is moving at a constant velocity and a body at rest, then they are both in the same state. So according to Newtonian mechanics, if an object is at rest or if an object is in a constant velocity, so the effect is same. So the two type of objects we can consider they are at the same state. Now in the first law of Newton, we have talked much about the external forces or forces. So we have to explore more about forces. How forces acts, how force is related to body's mass or velocity. So that is cleared from the second law of Newton. So what is the statement of second law of Newton? The force acting on an object is proportional to its rate of change of momentum, and the change in motion takes place in the direction of the straight line along which that force acts. Now another thing to mention here, the line of direction of the force. So this force is the total force, summation of F, that we have talked in first law of Newton. So the total force, if there may be multiple forces acting on the object, so the resultant force that has some direction. So here we are talking about that force. So that resultant force will change the velocity of the object. How it will change the velocity of the object? It will change in such a way that the force will be proportional to the rate of change of momentum. So to understand this, first you have to know what is momentum. Momentum is written as P. It is also a vector quantity, and P is equal to mass into velocity of the object. So if F is proportional to rate of change of momentum, that means d dt of P, then in case of P, we can write mass into velocity. Since in classical concept, in classical Newtonian and non-relativistic concept, mass is a constant quantity. So we can take out m out of the differentiation. So F will be proportional to mass into d dt of v. And you all know that d dt of v means rate of change of velocity with time. That is acceleration. So here what we get from Newton's second law of motion? Force is proportional to mass into acceleration. Now putting the proportionality constant as 1, what we get? We calculate to the final form of the Newton's second law. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. F is equal to m into a. So we can conclude as from second law of Newton, applied force is equal to mass multiplied by acceleration. This is a very important equation, and this equation will be used throughout the mechanics. There will be some modification of the equation, but it will be used. So you have to remember this equation. So after second law, there is another law which talks about action and reaction. So Newton's third law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So what action and reaction means? So action and reaction is actually applied force. So if there are two objects, object 1 and object 2, object 1 is a body and object 2 a body. So if object 1 is applying a force F12 on object 2, then it is obvious from Newton's third law that object 2 will also apply an equal and opposite force on object 1. So if object 2 applies F21 force on object 1 and object 1 applies F12 force on object 2, then F12 equal to minus of F21. That means the vectors will have opposite direction, but they will be same in magnitude. So from third law of Newton, we now know about action and reaction. So what is the connection of these three laws of Newton with our reading, with our syllabus, special theory of relativity? As I have told in my previous lecture, we have to know about inertial and non-inertial frame. So inertial frame is a frame where Newton's first law is valid. That means in inertial frame, unless or until any external force is applied, the object will be in its initial state of motion. So if the object is at rest, it will be at rest, and if the object is in uniform rectilinear motion, then after some time also it will be continuing its state of motion. Now you will ask, is there any frame where Newton's first law is not valid? Yes, there are frames where Newton's first law is not valid, and that type of frames are called non inertial frame. So, my next lecture will be about the examples of inertial and non inertial frames. Until now, stay home, stay safe.